Utie oha echi ponkno. Needs FM.
For the fall of the Berlin Wall in 9, we had a bipolar world order. America was a superpower and USSR, Soviet Union, to say a friend of Russian Federation. So now, for Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he was the Soviet, which was one of the reasons he would not buy. So for decades, the end of the Second World War in 45, American Soviet or more air job for the end of the day, Senegal, Bakobe, as the polar world superpower. I mean, there by 9 Soviet Union as a Japan. For so long, Russia was not affected, or more culture, or more culture, because I'm on my degree now almost Soviet Union. But I think I think Russia is fighting a moral war. So I like a bloodshed, yeah, a best so. At the end of the day, trying to join NATO. I said, the way the landlord was saying, they were for time for any or the need to provide benefit. Yeah, that was continental mobile. So Russia feels fair, even though you independent as a republic, that if you are making a move Russia and funny, a bear capitalist and funny home. By the end of the day, only Russia, only the boss, they are neighboring countries. It is to say, Ukraine is towards the West, or Ukraine is that young one might say, well, I air force one. That would be that advantage. And that's what I with the Russian because then America best wants to say Russia and China they are militarily country like Mexico. The US agrees to that. So why should Russia sit and look fair? The military build-up in you supported by the West. Now our family start actually the loss of life is but I think Russia is fighting around war. Believe that they have every right. Since there is any security threat in their immediate environment, they will clear that threat.
Now, I didn't know what describe when say a moral war and one echo.
They are fighting on the side of history will be favorable to Russia. Looks like this war will be shorter than we all anticipated. But since already Russian forces are getting in out of FIA or that was Ukraine honor. And by doing this, maybe and Russia is not any ordinary country. It is a nuclear armed country or atomic bombs. And number two, a building member of the UN Council. In G7, they are meeting today. NATO is meeting today. American President Joe Biden will massively take account. Sanctions alone cannot prevent Russia from achieving the political interest in the region. And if Ukraine falls within a week, it will embolden Russia. If the other countries Estonia, Poland, I believe the world has to wake up to the reality that there are some actions 1991 for 3 decades, 30 years. What has the world benefited from the US as a unipolar world? Apart from Brad, Afghan, Yani, yeah, Russian. We need to also look at what dividends has this capitalist regime of the world, global world order. But they are Abraham.
Mhm.
Aside from famine, war, corruption, when Russia is pushing for socialism, famine could not speak for socialism. Look at that, Mama, and what it is. That can bring $1 billion. There should be equitable distribution of wealth. There's no capitalist system, no crack. For 13 years, the fall of the belly. I was kept out here and believe that there needs to be a little balance. There, the fight is China and Russia, so they can pull their weight. And I'm not mind to what to say, and powers have the option of leaning to the east and not to the west. But the next potential, so the impact of this conflict could be far reaching. Have already started crossing over to neighboring countries. Russia is supplying natural gas at the mine Europe. Sanctions are hold on they are so Russia. Russia is an oil producing company and oil producing country. And see, even though Ghana, the man and Africa, the Mayan country brain, but they are very suspect. So let the big players continue to deal with some of these. So Casper de Brea, I want to say, future, you will turn between the devil and the deep blue in terms of your security arrangements and our defense partnerships, economic arrangements. Who knows? This could be the beginning of the re-emergence of Russia as an alternative to the US. It's a maybe an offer. I think it is a moral war Russia fighting. I'll be happy if it is emerges victorious in this conflict.
Enti ma yɛnhwɛ o yɛn a yɛte Ghana ha sei deɛ ɛrekɔ soɔ between Russia and Ukraine no ne fa bɛn na fa yɛ ho.
If I am in the sense to say, and today no country is an island. Maybe if only to Abu Bakr, army, other African armies, so no, we are not the manufacturers or producers. In international relations, there will be very friend of military industrial complex. Sir Amamai, the NS producer. AK-47, I think it will be the Soviet Union era and Russia for a year. A friend of AK because Nisa or the buy Kalashnikov or a Russian. And 47, no, it stands for 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. It is time to know all the shares you are saying, and now the chef for man, fire, now, and discharging. Now, it's in terms of future, how we tackle terrorism, how we tackle security challenges, how we tackle economic issues. I think Ghana and other African countries cannot sit aloof and Kasa and Ben, but I believe say Kasa in country. Because one say you take a position now. I understand the position is maintaining Ghana, maintaining other African. Of course, they say no, we are completely colonized. There is no colonialism. There's the West that is controlling Africa. But gradually, at Mali, the full leaders now must say, declare French ambassador persona non grata, woman 72 hours. And already, France is going to cut down its presence in Mali. That vacuum occupied by the emerging Far East powers, that Russia or China. They are gradually making inroads in Africa. We are going to maintain to say, and now ECOWAS chance to say, now Kasama Afaba, nobody knows what this new decade will bring in terms of global geopolitics. Nobody knows what the next 2 decades will bring in terms of economic, dynamics. Intimate threat. African leaders should be cautious the kind of public statements they make on some of these global geopolitical issues.
Yɛne Irbard Ibrahim ɛna ɛtwe nkɔmmɔ ɔwɔ nimdeɛ ɛwɔ international geopolitical analysis mu ɛna ɔsan wɔ nimdeɛ ɛwɔ security issues mo and then someone akoso between Russia and Ukraine and oguso a ɔkyerɛkyerɛ mu de abɛn yɛtena so so sɛ yɛnim kyena deɛ bɛsie nti yɛ leaders no yɛnka bi nso so a yɛte waa so no yɛn ntumi nya effect bi so ɛwɔ yɛ so.
Oh, I think any comment that will come from African leaders, the second I'm saying, would just be to achieve the West. That is what I'm saying. The first, America, Ottoman Empire, Germany, and the US, and US needs to be the US, and Iran is just China to take over in the next decade. And so looking at the long-term interests of third world countries like Ghana, this is the and a Beboa. Already within the West African sub-region, there are so many other issues they are contending with. The coup in Burkina, the coup in Guinea Conakry, the coup in Mali, and statements are for on those delicate foreign policy. You can keep your views already. We worked with ambassadors, so there were times during my days in diplomacy. Yeah, ambassador, Russian ambassador, American, an interpreter to the embassy, and let me I believe that most of these people, what Ghana can do now, next time, diplomatically, on a boy, Yoko Butri, she can call and I did this and I individually, which for Russian ambassador and change. You just say, then you this Ghanaian on the American ambassador, then Kukwem, but diplomacy is about academic as but when you say this is my position on this global issue, once you lose out on some of the benefits of your bilateral these two major powers. And again, I won't say Ukraine of one, they are saying that they feel neglected. Of course, you neglected. Russia, why on earth say Russia say on people? Now, and the time for Zelensky take the phone and call Vladimir. Now, negotiate with the person directly. So you can't be taking your lectures from the US and Anthony Blinken, Joe Biden, and Amodi. There should be direct, correspondence in Moscow. So far, if there is any advice I can give the Ukrainians, I doubt if it will reach them anyway. This is the time for them to work the phone by calling Russia and say, hey, I did the NIS say Western powers never boy. And we are ready to sit with you so that we can avoid because for the Ukrainian now, you will be emboldened to take over the former Soviet republic, the Russian Federation. And as for me, I think it will be a breath of fresh air. Okay, I'm on science, so for that's too much. Or say a tasty other system, then we'll have alternatives. There's variety of types of life. Here, the way Russia expressing it, so that third world like us will have the option to the West for our own country.
Still, Ghanaian President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, so he's quoted in today's press, a Daily Graphic, Ghanaian Times. That's what say rising oil prices are a source of concern in the safety and evacuation of Ghanaian citizens or Ukraine as also a source of concern. What do you make of that two major points here, President Walking?
With the on 2 points. And then Ghana and the airport, especially the second bit of your question about evacuation. It is Ukraine, just like the new more trackers from in terms of educating Ghanaians, the areas of medicine now. But past conflicts have shown that Yahoo in terms of evacuation or form kakra. Let me explain something for those who understand the diplomatic nuances of evacuation. There are nations of the world that won't name ambassador directly to in the country because you don't have a Ghanaian ambassador to Ukraine. Mepacho, correct me if I'm wrong.
In fact, you want to say a Ghanaian student asked to contact Dr. Irbard Kitchener at Office 6, Volodymyrska Street, 11 Kiev, Ukraine. And there's a phone number. In fact, we've been trying to reach the Dr. Irbard Kitchener on the phone number so given, but we are unable to reach him at present. At least there's been this information saying Ghanaian students, Ghanaian citizens can contact one Dr. Irbard Kitchener.
John Benjamin, former British High Commissioner, we were in a private my ambassador. That was the time Burkina Faso Parliament. While we were in the meeting, said he had to give briefings to London because as the High Commissioner to Ghana, our jurisdiction over Burkina Faso. So there are times, just before we had our ambassador to Qatar, Ghana's ambassador in times to Saudi Arabia was in charge of all the Gulf countries. So for those Baltic and Slavic countries, Ghana interest will form Kakra. There is no way we can have a permanent diplomatic representation in Ukraine. What we can do in the current circumstances, let's say, we look at the diplomatic consulate within the area. Then we can channel our evacuation efforts through that. But I dare say, I have been directly involved in Yemen conflict. There was a Ghanaian student in Yemen who was in distress. I was saying awareness because bombs were falling close to them. And again, look at Libya. The conflict, of course. So let's say Ghana was one of the last countries to have evacuated our national from Libya. In the way a new statement has said, as much as possible, if there is immediate danger to our students in Ukraine, there should be ways of reaching, first of all, as I indicated, when I even talk to the Russian Federation, the Russian ambassador to Ghana. Among our ambassadors were here. Officers met, there were 37 here now. So we can make arrangements so that even if they have to, they can have a safe passage or corridor for Ghanaian national and negotiate that with Russia while we are here in Ghana. I believe that we should not fail our young friends who are sitting higher in Russia and in Ukraine. I believe that whatever we can do as a country to make sure that the baby evacuation. We've seen similar examples in the past that minutes.
Okay.
Not other worldwide.
Perhaps my main sign and taking
Utie Oha Echi Ponkno Needs FM.